Hello and welcome back to this ongoing Dark Heresy campaign that we're playing. We are currently, or we are going to start our, what is it, third session? So yeah, fun times ahead. So, what happened last time? Does anyone remember? It's been so long since we played.
Yeah, it's been horrible, hasn't it? Well, we started last time in this prison complex, and we had been skulking around, sneaking around, more or less in the dark because well, somebody turned the lights off pretty much the moment we got in, and we managed to get to a sort of a control room for one of the prison blocks, black prison block specifically, as I recall. And while we were there, we were trying to get some information out of the cogitators, and we were trying to turn the lights back on, and it succeeded temporarily, but only temporarily. And while we were there, we learned that the yellow and the blue blocks were apparently on some kind of lockdown with a big inquisitorial sigil placed over the doors, so that, you know, blinking saying do not enter, basically. We were also while we were in this control room, we suddenly got I wouldn't say attacked, but I would say that accosted was Achelon, or Achelon was accosted, or whatever way around it is, by a psychic presence telling him that very loudly, apparently, that we shouldn't open doors and we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that, and it would die and we would all die, and it was all very spooky and menacing and Ghost in the Machine like.
Yes.
Quite literally, at the point where it appeared that there was a screaming woman's face on the computer screen. It was all very spooky, and at one point we there was even a time where we suddenly there was a bleep. Francesca had picked up an auspex. There was a bleep on the auspex. Somebody was something more like it was approaching down one of the hallways leading to this room, and it was literally turning off the lamps as it went, so we couldn't really see it. It was running towards us in darkness, and the lamps were being turned off along the way, and we couldn't turn them back on. So Francesca called out to it and told it to stop, which it did, but only very briefly, and then it started running towards us. So she opened fire, so did several of the others, and this creature was killed. Turned out to be one of the guards, who had basically been coming at us full tilt. We decided we had to get to the central chamber, because that was apparently where the entity that was speaking to Achelon was located. So we were heading in there. However, we needed to get all the way back to more or less to where we got in order to get there safely. Along the way, we realized there were many more bleeps. We had already had to close the doors to a number of bleeps once, and Francesca had ordered that we use the fire suppression system to drive them away from the doors and away from the hallways, and that had worked. And when we then left the room and tried to get back to the entrance, the majority of these creatures, or whatever it was, had sought refuge in one of the chapels. And we ran back to the control room, shut the doors to the chapel, but only after Medea had the brilliant idea of trying to herd as many of these bleeps into the chapel as possible, using the fire suppression systems to make them go there. And then she closed the doors, which was a stroke of absolute brilliance. And we then we finally ran back to the entrance. We realized that there were still bleeps around the complex, so we started shooting out the locks on the doors. And despite our best efforts, there was still a group of 10 of these things, who then turned out to apparently be guards, who got out of the last door that we hadn't shut the lock out on. And they approached us, and Tim shot one of them, took his leg clean off. The others administered what we thought was the Emperor's Mercy, and Francesca called out to them, and they did stop approaching us. And then once they did begin that again, at first they didn't look hostile until they got within, I think, was it 150 meters or even closer. And then they raised their weapons again, and we saw some kind of purple glow in their eyes, and that was where we ended.
Yeah, and also the hallway went dark.
Oh right, yes.
Just
So,
to
yeah.
add to the merriment, yes.
Yeah, just to add to the excitement of it all.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's more or less what happened last time. So the situation is as follows. I'll just move our I'll just switch scenes so our dear audience can follow along. You are all placed roughly here, where I'm pinging on the map. And from the central chamber comes a strange purple glow, light, something filling that room. And coming toward you, roughly 150 meters away from you at this point, when we start this session, are 9 what you described as looking like guards, judging by their uniforms. And when they started moving toward you, their weapons were lowered. They weren't actively aiming at you. But when that purple light began to shine in their eyes, they raised their weapons once more, and now they do look hostile to you. And that's the situation when we start this this session. Also, like I mentioned, just for the record, this hallway you're currently in, there's really nothing in the way of cover for you to get behind. It's an empty
That,
hallway.
on the other hand, also means that there is nothing for them to get behind.
Exactly. That goes both ways, of course.
Only issue is
Frankly,
they might be able to see in this fucking darkness.
Yeah, you have lights. You have your flashlights, your torches, and I have the auspex. So that does offset it, at least partially.
Yeah. Yep. I should probably mention that these torches that you have, if you've attached them to your weapons, there's going to be a penalty, because they are large, clunky, heavy torches, and they absolutely
Weigh down.
Yeah, they weigh down your weapon. You're not trained to wield your weapons in that manner.
No.
So there will be a penalty if you have these torches mounted on your weapons. Okay, so let's start with some initiative.
Yep.
And you've
That
all
was
been given
1d10 plus agility, right?
Yep, 1d10 plus your agility
Doesn't
bonus. And you've all been given tokens that you can use to add. Do you know if the initiative thing on the character sheet adds you automatically to the turn order, or should I add you?
I mean, I can test it.
Please do.
You might want to, click on your token or something.
I have to find it first.
God, it's been ages since I've used this.
I can't find an initiative
Nope,
button.
neither can I.
Okay, maybe there isn't an actual. I thought there were.
Nah.
Nope.
No.
Well, I think you're going to have to add us then.
Do it the old-fashioned way.
Until such a point we can make a macro for it.
Yeah, you can always make a macro, but until then, I'll just add you. And yeah, Medea's moving her token down to the hallway. You can do so as well, but it's not really. The map isn't an actual battle map, so.
Oh no. So.
Wow. I'm so using my own again. Fucking roll 20.
Yeah.
I'll
Well.
add you to the turn order.
Well, we're supposed to be rolling in here since we record, right?
I that's up to you. I don't mind if you.
Okay. No worries. That is nice to know.
It's a bonus for the audience to see what you roll, but it's not a requirement.
No, it's not.
And I'll keep rolling it in there.
We do the trust thing. Yep.
And you've all been added to the turn order.
Yep.
Yeah, for once I've come stone dead last, so... Although, considering that I'm out of range to do pretty much anything at this point, that's not too bad a thing.
Oh, I suppose not.
Everyone's got longer range weapons than I do.
I can't reach
I
them
am a
either. Stop
sniper.
whining.
I can.
Yeah, you can, and I think Tim
It's
can.
just I can, although it's a range increment out. Tim is just at the edge of his first range increment.
Mm-hmm.
But I can reach them on the second increment, so I get a -10.
So as long as we can see them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the Auspex is for.
True. Okay, so I'm not going to add these 9 hostiles to the turn order. I'm going to assume that Sister Francesca goes first, then 2 or 3 of them, then Medea, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So, Sister Francesca, you're up.
Okay, well, she has a good idea of where they are, and she does have the Auspex, so she opens fire with a, what's it called, a burst.
Okay.
And that's a +10, and it's a -10 because it's on her second range increment.
Mm-hmm.
So they even out.
Yep.
And I hit on one of them.
Okay.
So it's a miss on one, and I roll a 41. So that would be 14.
Okay.
14 is right arm. According to this, it might be left arm on yours, as we learned last time. It's a bit,
Yeah.
bit bothersome, but at least it's in an arm.
Yep. And so my version of the rule book is. Does it say what printing it is? No, it doesn't. Of course, it doesn't.
No, it's simply the what's on the character sheet in Roll20 is probably in reverse from yours.
Yeah.
I
It's
imagine
just
that's
which version to go with, because I have the latest PDF of the rulebook. So well,
I'm fine with just swapping left and right,
Yeah,
because that fits with yours.
Yeah, that works.
And
So
yes, and so basically when
We'll just
when
have
it
to
says here
remember
that
it.
we hit left arm or left leg, then we should just assume it's the right one and vice versa.
exactly.
Okay, not a problem. So I hit the left arm, in fact.
Yep. And also, it should be mentioned that even though it's a dark in the hallway, there's no light. That's not actually true because their eyes shine a bright purple. So
Oh, that
they're
makes it a little easier.
yeah. So they're you should there are no penalties to shooting them because
Okay, good. And I'm
Let's go for the
also
eyes.
I'm
Go for the
firing.
eyes. Hit them.
I'm firing, and I am making sure that I am slightly in front, so that the others aren't quite as open targets, so to say. But okay, I have to roll some damage on this guy. I take it.
Yep.
All right, and he gets 12 points of damage with a penetration of 4.
Ow!
I mean, does that go through him then?
That means that she ignores 4 points of armor
Yes,
in
of course.
that arm.
Which is yeah, that arm no longer exists.
The arm is gone.
and
Well,
also
the GM knows if the arm is gone.
yeah, the arm's gone.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing I don't think I've mentioned this, but we do have the critical rules, the vanilla rules, but
Yes.
I'm going to say for my sanity at least that we'll
Yes.
use that for named NPCs and you guys.
I agree. I absolutely agree. If we do that for every single mook we meet,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, just no. Named NPCs and us, that would be good.
What is a critical in this game then?
When you reach 0 wounds, you start rolling on various critical tables.
Yes.
Depending on the damage type, i.e. Energy, impact, explosive, or whatever.
And so,
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
so-
well, a 20 is a critical in Pathfinder. Why is it here?
Yeah,
It's criticals are only defined by when you go below 0 health, and then let's say you go to -3, then you get a -3 crit. If you go to -2, you get a -2 crit, and so on. And they are cumulative, I believe.
Yep, they are. It's worth mentioning as well, since you brought it up, Aya, that there is a sort of critical hit thing in this game, and I forget how it works, but it's what's
I
it
believe
called?
it's that you always hit on a 0-1 and you always miss on a 100.
Yeah. But I want to find it now.
That makes perfect sense.
I remember once I played with the D100 system too. Many years ago, before I even knew Daniel and Michelle. We determined that if you hit them in 0-6, you hit them in the groin.
Ow.
Delightful.
Delightful indeed. Okay, I can't find it right now, but there is something righteous something.
Oh yes, Righteous Fury. That's right.
Yeah,
That's when
exactly.
that's when you roll max damage. Then you roll again to see if you hit a second time. Basically, let's say I had rolled to hit now, and then I rolled a 10 on my damage die. Then I would roll against my ballistic skill again. If I hit a second time, I roll another damage die to add on top of it.
Right.
Only the die, not the modifier. So it wouldn't be. Now my weapon is 1d10 plus 5. In that situation, it would be 2d10 plus 5. If I then roll a 10 on the second die, I just keep rolling. I don't have to roll to hit more than one time on top of the original.
No.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So there is a confirm mechanic similar to what we know from Pathfinder, for instance.
If you can hit a second time, exactly.
Yeah.
But then you can continue to roll, so you can, in theory, do insane amounts of damage.
You can. as long as
Such
you keep
as
rolling
the
maximum
adept.
damage.
person.
Such as the adept who killed the greater demon with a knife.
Yep.
Uh,
So,
We love Cassie Scrandle.
in this case, though, Sister Francesca fires her bolt weapon, and you all see the explosion down the hall. That brief second where the bolt hits its target, and you hear a scream of pain, and then one set of purple eyes just dropping to the floor, and it's
She is praying under her breath. Of course, benedictions to the Emperor. Basically, the way she sees it, the Emperor loves his subjects, and these are not his subjects.
no. Okay, so as they advance toward you in the darkness, they also open fire.
How very strange.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, really.
So
you're sure they're not just coming to give us a cookie?
no, they're not coming to give you a cookie. There are no cookies in this game.
Oh.
Yep.
So
It
three
should
of them.
probably be. It should probably be pointed out here, Heine.
Yep.
That however silly this sounds, it is now a new game night, which means that I have my hero points, almost what's it called, my fate points
Yep.
back,
Yep.
which means that my power is not actually working. I've shut it off simply by dint of there being a week in between. I
Yeah.
know that sounds ridiculous, but that's how it has to work, obviously.
Yeah. That's the clunkiness of game mechanics.
Yes.
You know
Okay.
it's a grimdark setting when there are no cookies.
Oh God, yes. That's...
Indeed. Okay,
Although
so
I have to say, I think the Cookie Monster would be a greater demon of something.
I can
Probably a
s-
Slanesh, probably some kind of glutton.
I was going to say, I was actually going to suggest some Slaneshi thing going there. But three of them open fire. They all of them miss their mark, so you're in the clear here. Medea, it's your turn.
Okay.
Gadaka.
I can't reach them from here.
What is the range on your weapon?
90.
Yes, then you can.
Yep.
That's
No,
the
they're
first-
150 away.
Yes. My range increment is also 90. It's simply the first range increment.
Yep.
When you go beyond that, you take minus 10.
That makes no sense. How much is one range increment?
That is exactly the number that it says on your weapon. If it says 90, that means that its close range is 90, long range is between 90 and 180, and extreme range is between 180 or 181, obviously, and 270.
It's pretty much just at which range your weapon can be expected to be accurate.
Yes.
After that, you take penalties because it's
Yes.
beginning to not be accurate.
Yes. So
Okay,
you
because
can
it
in
didn't
fact.
say any of that.
So you can in fact hit them, and if you fire a burst or even on full auto, then obviously you get bonuses to hit, which will offset your minuses.
All right. Well, they get all of it.
Okay.
So, okay, that's plus 20 and minus 10 for the range increments, so plus 10.
See if I can hit anything.
Yes, and remember to, if you do, then to say how much below you roll.
4.5.
Wow.
Whoa.
So that's 5 bullets that hit.
5 bullets that hit, yeah, and you can spread.
I roll a 14 actually.
That's
You can
pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it is. You can spread it out between more than one target, as long as they're close enough.
Yeah,
You
should
it's
probably do that.
one or 2 meters apart, I think. They have to be before you can no longer reach them with a burst or a full auto.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say that with 5 bullets you can hit 3 of them.
So 2 bullets on 2 each, and then 1
Yep.
on the last one.
All right.
Medea
Sounds
is going
fair.
to basically mow them down.
Well, you told us to kill. Right?
Yes. I'm not complaining at all.
Medea's not complaining either, but that's completely different reasons.
Hmm.
Yes, we don't want to know that she wants to eat them.
Slight spoilers for the audience there.
First one gets 14.
She hasn't actually said if that's the case. That's my guess.
Is
No, she doesn't want to eat them. She's full.
Ew. Okay.
Medea is what's the penetration on your weapon?
None.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
I
2
don't
meters.
have any fancy stuff like the others.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I just looked it up, Heine. It's 2 meters.
What?
The distance between people that you can spread extra bullets out to.
So if they were more than 2 meters apart,
The next one gets 12, and that's a 10.
Do you get to...
He's probably going to be dead even without the fury.
Yes.
I had to roll again, didn't I?
It doesn't matter, because they say that would kill him outright anyway.
I still
Yeah.
want to see if I hit him again.
Of course.
then you
I
do.
do, with
Wow.
the same kind of degree.
Wow.
God.
Well, there's no on the second roll. Degree doesn't really play into.
No,
it,
no, no,
obviously.
but it's still amazing.
Pretty cool, yeah.
So he
Another
gets
14
4
actually.
more.
Yeah.
So one guy just turns into steam.
Yeah.
Let's see
Basically.
how far up you can get. Roll some more damage for this righteous fury. Just a D10.
10.
Okay.
And then you roll again.
9.
You don't have.
Wow.
Jesus Christ! This guy is obliterated.
Yep. It's
She
a
goes for the eyes because she can see them.
it's a
I'm
shame
half
she can't
expecting-
actually see what happens because
His
darkness.
head
but,
evaporates.
yeah.
Just imagine in Unreal Tournament style somewhere his voice just cries out headshot.
Yeah.
It's even not like headshot.
Nice shooting.
So okay, so the last
the
one.
last one gets what?
One.
Okay.
5.
So,
Yeah.
it's safe to say that 2 of them go down.
Yep.
One of them in a very bloody and nasty way.
Yep.
Head no longer exists.
Minor detail, I went pretty to begin with.
Okay. The third man is the third guard is still standing though, so he continues to move forward, and in fact, he'll try to
Shoot back.
shoot back.
Is he
Oh,
trying
wow.
to turn
I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Very nice.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. It's single shot though, so
Who's he shooting at?
he's so. Remind me, your power has been shut off, so you guys are also lost in darkness, pretty much.
Yes.
I
or
don't
rather-
have glowing eyes.
Well, I suppose you're standing. You're silhouetted by this the purple glow coming from the central chamber.
Plus, those of us who have actually fired projectile weapons, at the very least, there is a muzzle flare.
Yeah. Especially with Medea, because hers is just a bang bang thingy.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, same with the bolter, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Medea, the guy you shot and injured but didn't manage to kill.
He's returning the favor.
He returns fire. He's wielding a las gun.
Ow.
So let's see.
Same damage as your autogun.
Yep.
Oh, he can kill me in one shot then if he's lucky.
Oh, he can. And since he rolled an 01, that's a 10 on the hit locator thing.
That is a headshot.
Ooh.
Ow.
Okay.
Yep.
So, how many wounds do you have, Medea?
Oh no. Why don't you just tell me how much he damages me?
Because
I'm still
curious.
looking for that on my
I'm
thingy.
curious.
At the bottom. Right at the bottom.
Right at the bottom, where?
wound. Just okay. Go slightly up. It should say wounds in the top in the left corner. Then fate points, insanity,
14.
and corruption.
14. Okay, he hits you for 11 wounds
Jesus.
with a penetration
that
of
pretty
0.
close.
It's with penetration of nothing. Well, I sincerely hope that
You hit me for 11, right?
that
Well, I
hurts.
know what I can do with my turn now.
Yes, you have a healing power. That might be a really good idea.
Well, you see her get hit, but she doesn't even wince.
No.
No, but still, it's
It's pretty obvious now that pain isn't a thing for her.
There's
Yes.
something
just-
seriously wrong with that girl.
Yeah,
we've-
she just
we've already-
sits up and curses about blood in her eye.
Cool.
Your head is missing.
Shit.
Yeah.
That is a very serious head wound. So, that's
What are you talking about? It's just a flesh wound.
The other guy who got to shoot also hit. He rolled a 2 on his attack, which on the hit locator is a 20. And Sister Francesca,
yes,
you get 9 points of damage with 0 penetration.
and that's on an arm.
Yep.
Yep, that means I take 2 points of damage.
Also, Medea, did you remember to subtract your toughness?
Oh, that's right. I take no
Okay.
damage.
When you're hit, when you take damage,
Yes.
you subtract your toughness from that damage.
Yeah,
Your
toughness
toughness
bonus. Yeah.
which is the 10s in your toughness.
Yes.
Then
So
I
that
only take 9.
okay, that's still a
pretty.
pretty.
Yeah. Also
Nasty
means
blow.
you have fairly low toughness, obviously, but yes.
I'm a scummer. What did you expect?
So basically, whenever you hit, you look at your armor and your toughness
Yeah.
to subtract from the damage.
Yes. Which is nice. Thank you for the reminder, because that means I don't take damage at all.
Ah, boo.
It's like I said earlier this evening. Francesca is just walking cover.
she is a walking tank.
Why didn't you hit me in the body? Then I could take 2 more of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know.
Boo!
Yeah. Tim.
Well,
Well,
Francesca
let's
basically just takes this ching on her arm and just shrugs it off.
let's see if we can't return the favor.
Yes, please. Could
Please
you
bless.
please repeat what you did on the first shot?
Yes, as I remember, I can take a half action to take aim and then shoot
Yep.
for a plus
10.
10.
It's all right. It's all right, Tim. Just aim for the purples of their eyes.
I am going to aim to make a cold shot towards the head.
Brilliant. Aim for the purple
and-
their eye.
And I had accurate, which added another 10, and a cold shot was minus 20, yes?
Yes.
So it evens out, basically.
Yep.
Let's see if I can hit. And I would use my ballistic skill for that, yes.
Yep.
Well,
That
it's
is a hit.
0.5 degree of success.
And it
Nice.
really doesn't matter if it's just one bullet you fire. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
one charge,
the-
since
yeah,
it's the last
one
one.
shot.
but
Yeah, sure. So the amount of degrees in this case doesn't really factor into anything.
What does
Okay.
matter, however, is that he rolls a 49. So that is a 94, obviously.
Yeah,
that
but-
would be the left leg.
Yeah, but he made
a cold shot.
Made a cold shot to the head.
Oh,
so.
sorry. To the head. Nice.
Also, he rolled a 44, not a 49.
Yes, 49 is my ballistic skill.
True.
So,
And you remember to subtract what you get minuses for a cold shot?
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
that's why I said I get plus
Oh.
20 and then minus 20 for the cold shot, and it evens out.
Right.
And he
Oh,
himself.
excellent, excellent.
Let's see some
So-
damage.
Yes, and I just took a lovely new talent, so let's see this.
Oh, which talent was that?
Mighty Shot.
Oh,
So 12 damage to the head.
to the head. Okay, so
That's pretty.
Ow.
yeah.
That's nearly as much as, that's more than, one more than Medea took to the face.
Yep. So what happens is, and again, you can't really see it in the dark, but you make a nice round hole through this guy's head, and he goes
Perfectly
down.
circular hole.
Yep.
And I
Down he
think
goes.
Tim says, wrong time to lose your head, buddy. Before taking aim for the next one.
So
I think Medea comes with a shut up because she also got hit in the head.
So that's 4 hostiles you've eliminated this round. So there are 5
including, yes, 5 in all, because there was also the one that...
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That got killed early on.
Right.
I didn't
And
even do that. That was just collateral damage.
the last 2 will, of course... Oh. Okay. Let's see. Medea. You are hit by a lass weapon.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I'm the one who's getting out in front so that they can shoot at me, and they just ignore it. How dare they?
Well,
By the way, Heine.
Yep.
If it matters, my long lass has pen 1.
It didn't matter in this case, but
Next time.
Just for the future.
Yep.
Sorry.
Medea, you take 4 points of damage, and the penetration is 0.
So that subtracts your toughness again.
What did I take in all?
4.
And what body part was it? Because if it's
Oh,
in the
sorry.
body, then that's
80.
important. 80.
80.
That is one of her legs.
Left leg.
It's right leg because it's
Oh, right
the opposite of ours.
Yep.
Okay. Body. Heine.
Yes.
Body.
Where she's got armor.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
That's 4 minus 2. All right.
Well, obviously, it would be better if you didn't hit her at all.
No,
Obviously, go for the tank. She's standing there in a beautiful set of armor that won't dent.
Yeah, but she didn't just mow down 2 of them.
No,
That's
only one.
besides the
Only
point.
1, not 2.
That's besides the point, Heine.
And also, I rolled randomly to see which one
Yeah,
of you
of course.
they would.
What we wanted to do is huddle behind Francesca and just take pot shots from around her like her
Well,
armored
that
legs
one
or
is
something.
less annoying because she's probably already kneeling beside Francesca. I was like, what? Did they hit?
Is Medea in fact still alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Only just.
No, she still have 3 hit points. She's doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
on
really.
the upside, of all the people here, at least she won't die in pain.
True.
That is true.
Although I don't think she's going to die at all, because now it's Achelon's turn, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or is there one more guy?
And also, yeah, there are 2 more guys, as far as I can tell, who
sorry.
haven't had their turn yet. But one thing to keep in mind is we mentioned criticals
Yes.
before, so even if
That's
she
also
did reach
big
0,
points.
she still wouldn't die. She I think death normally occurs at -8, 9, or 10 or thereabouts.
That well, it can occur at
depends.
-1 if you roll
Yeah.
like 100 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it only occurs with any great certainty when you get that low. However, you can be maimed at considerably less.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have 2 more. No, you know what? I just rolled for
Well,
those 2.
some of them might actually be dead now.
So now it's Achelon.
Okay. Yes. With every enemy we're engaging being well out of Achelon's range, both in terms of weapons and active abilities, he's going to look to try and use his psychic powers to heal Medea of her more pressing wounds. But I've never used the system and I've never used psychic powers, so
Right.
guide me, mighty GM.
Yes. So what you need to do is get a number of what are they called? D10s equal to your psi rating.
Or however many points you want to use. You don't have to use your entire psi
No,
rating.
no,
That's
no,
important.
No.
So, for example,
Up to their psi rating.
yes, and what is the threshold for heal for the power healing?
Healer, the threshold is 7.
Yes,
Okay.
and you have 5 in willpower, right?
FF, but
Yes.
Yes,
Then it should be fine to use only one die.
I agree. So what you do is take the number of dice you choose up to your psi rating, and you roll those, adding your willpower bonus. If the result is equal to or exceeds the power's so-called psychic threshold, you succeed. Otherwise, you can't manifest that power.
okay.
Your head explodes.
You can. It's quite important. If you should wish to use 2 dice,
Yes.
you may achieve what is known as overbleed, which means that if you, let's say in this case, the power has a threshold of 7, was what you said, right?
Yes. 7.
Yes, and I have it here, healer. Good. Now, there is no overbleed on this one, so there's no point in you actually doing that. But if there is an overbleed effect, if you look at, for example, the one called inflict pain, it has a threshold of 8. And it says, overbleed, for every 10 points by which you exceed the threshold, you can extend the effect of this power to affect another target. So basically, if you're willing to risk using more dice, you might get an even bigger impact out of the power. But specifically for the power you are using, there is no overbleed effect. So,
Yes. See.
And also, do keep in mind that when you roll this this power roll, whenever a die results in a 9, we do the psychic phenomena thing.
yes. And it's a lot less serious if you roll fewer 9s. The more 9s you roll, the worse. This is the reason why one should not always use all one's power dice.
Yep.
Yes. So in this case, yes, I shall use 1 d10 plus my willpower.
It should probably also be added that even if he rolls a 9, it still counts as a 9 on the roll. So you would, you know.
Sure.
And the reason why it is 9 is that it is the sacred number for the god Tzeentch, who is the god of magic.
Yep.
7 exactly.
Cool. Equal to or exceed. So you manifest this psychic power.
I heal, and I need to roll a 1d5 to determine how many magnitudes or how many points of damage I heal, with no reduction for toughness bonus or armor.
Yep.
Let's see. Removing critical damage first, and there isn't any critical damage. So let's see, 1d5. There isn't a d5. I'm just going to roll a d10, and then we'll divide it by 2. Is that right?
That's what we normally do. And then you round it off, obviously. So 1, 2 is 1, 3, 4, 3, 4 is 2, 5, 6 is 3, 7, 8 is 4.
So you get 4 points back from there.
Do realize you could just write into chat /r space 1d5, right?
Rasmus, you've had this conversation with me several times, and I still haven't done it. Can we get established that I'm just going to do it the obtuse way?
It's just very obtuse, that's all.
I'm British. I revile technology in all its forms.
Yes, you should read Scandinavia and the World, the most recent one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was thinking just the same.
Mm-hmm.
So there is one more detail. I don't know if this applies to the psychic power that you just used. If you've taken damage that exceeds double your toughness bonus, you are considered to be heavily wounded.
Yes.
And as far as I remember, the effect this has really applies to getting your wounds back. It's tougher to get.
Yeah, but that's natural healing.
Yeah, exactly. And I wasn't sure if it applied to the power.
There's
as well,
no mention of it in the power, at least.
Then it doesn't.
No.
It's just something to keep in mind because it becomes tougher to heal if you're heavily wounded.
It takes longer unless you get some kind of, let's call it, expert medical or psychic help.
Yep.
In healing.
But yeah, for now, Medea, you've been healed for what, 3 wounds?
4.
4. Okay, cool. Cool.
However, it does say here, if a person, including the psyker, is the subject of this power more than once in a 6-hour period, they must test toughness or take 1d5 points of damage.
So yeah, basically, I can't use it again without there being risks.
Yeah. Well,
So
on
please don't
Medea,
die.
you can't use it on Medea again. You could use it on the rest of us.
Yes, so basically. So Medea, please don't get hit again.
Okay, so the remaining 2 hostiles open fire as well. They don't hit a thing.
That's very gracious of them.
Very.
Right. So, top of the round, Sister Francesca.
Yes. Very nice. 04.
Okay.
That is 3 whole. It's I have 43, so it's only 3 whole under. But I can only fire 2 bullets, so.
Oh.
Or 2 bolts, as it is. Are they close enough to hit 1 each, or do I?
Yeah, you can hit 1 each. No
Okay,
problem.
fine. Then let's see. One of them gets 12 points of damage with 4 in penetration, and the other gets 11 with 4 penetration. And since I hit 04, that's 40. That is body. So both of them take a bolt in the body.
Okay. They both go down, which means there are now 3 left. All 3 of which, well, none of them seem to be willing to surrender.
No, I did not expect so.
Nope. And let's see.
Ja,
they're both
voluntas
dead.
de Imperat.
So, Medea, it's your turn.
Yeah.
So
They
there are
can
3.
die.
There are 3 hostiles left. 2 of them would be close enough for you to get both if you do one of those full auto things.
Oh, she does.
Okay. Wow.
3.9.
Jesus Christ.
I hit
Remember-
them in 0-2.
My God, that's 20. That's an arm.
No. I hit them in 0-2 because I
that's
roll
the-
a 20.
Oh, that's the head.
I mean,
So it's 3
We are
bullets
doing a
and
lot of headshots here, or they are doing a lot of headshots. But the Frenchie is just shooting them wherever.
I'm losing the headshot competition.
Yeah, you really are.
On the other hand,
So that was 3? Almost 4 bullets. Oh.
on the other hand, she doesn't really need to do headshots with what she's carrying around.
11.
Okay.
Ouch.
And a 12.
Yep. Neither of
And a
them have.
12.
Neither of them have any. You don't have any penetration, right? It's 0 penetration weapon.
Mhm.
Yeah. Still, that's pretty good.
And the last bullet.
Yeah, 11, 12, 12.
And the last bullet. You hit 4 times. You hit the first
Oh.
bullet. The first bullet is the actual hit, and then for each
9.
degree,
Yeah.
you get an additional bullet. Okay.
So the
but
first one gets 23, and the second one gets
21.
21.
Ow.
yeah,
Sometime.
they're-
They collapse as well. You do
yeah,
spend an enormous amount of ammunition, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's having the biggest grin on her face.
However, you did fire a full auto from that gun once before, and I think it's got a clip of 30, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just spent the last 10, so she
Yes.
needs to
Yep.
reload.
Yes.
Yep. Cool. Sweet. 2 of them go down, which means that 1 remains. Not for long, I imagine.
That
Tim?
was my thought too. Go to Tim.
Let's see if we can't do this then. I still aim and I do try to do a headshot.
Okay.
Why not? Hey, you hit. Absolutely.
Then the damage
Excellent.
shall be rolled. Ooh. So
Hey!
how did this work again?
So you roll another
To
to
hit.
hit. And this is without any bonuses or anything.
So
No.
that is just a regular.
Yeah, that one
Just
misses,
I say
so-
just, but 15 points of damage. Yeah, he's dead. He's toast. He's
He
no longer.
he doesn't hit again though. That's
Stay
sad.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the last of them. They're all dead, Jim.
Yeah, they're dead, Jim.
So,
Well, Tim gets up and brushes the dust off his knee. So, what's next?
Medea dries the side of her face. It's getting annoying. And then she brushes off her legs, realizes she's shot in the leg too. Just, oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that.
I love that quirk, or that, what was a mutation? That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Take some kind of cloth and tie it around that before you bleed all over the place.
Medea looks down. Too late.
I'm mostly thinking about getting it in your eyes.
Yes, a nice bandana might suit you.
I'm already wearing a hood.
There's a
She
piece of-
sighs and then just rips the sleeve off her shirt.
Uses it to bandage.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah,
Because she got Medicaid.
Yeah, she does.
Akalon says, I did what I could for the wounds.
Yeah, it felt weird. But thanks.
No problem.
Medicaid is intelligence. I can do this!
Good work, everyone. Excellent shooting.
I couldn't. But at least I don't get it in my eye.
Yeah.
No, you've done that much. You've made sure that the blood doesn't run into your eyes. But you, like you said, you don't actually manage
Stop the
to.
bleeding.
Nope.
It's hard when you try doing it on yourself.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, excellent shooting, everyone. Well done. We have still got we've still got someone here behind us to deal with.
Do you want me to stay out here and keep an eye out?
I should rather we did not split up.
Tim nods.
It seems imprudent to do so.
Yes. Once again, the voice speaks to me.
What does it say?
The same tired old.
That it says help me, free me, whatever.
Yes,
Yes, well then let's set it free.
indeed.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Francesca walks towards the central chamber, praying, this time out loud, invoking the God Emperor with a firm, loud voice.
Okay.
As she walks in there.
Okay.
Tim follows behind her.
I'm going to have to you make 2 willpower tests.
Each?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll explain why in a bit.
Remember, I have true faith if it's something like, fear and the likes.
Yes, I shall.
Because there might be some things that I am not affected by, or at least have bonuses against.
Yep.
So
Just roll willpower rolls twice.
Yep.
I'm just looking it up right now in a hurry.
So
Here we
the
go.
first one was a minus 0.2 degrees of success. I'm
Oops.
debating with myself whether or not to reroll it, just because I don't want to be mind raped. I believe I shall spend a fate point to reroll it.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking, Heine, and you can send me a tell if nothing else, or a private message, but there is the option of spending a fate point to ignore a fear test, and there is also the option of spending a fate point to avoid gaining insanity or corruption for an encounter. However, I have to do it before I roll.
Yep.
I just made mine worse.
Also, I may burn a fate point to ignore the effects of a psychic attack against me, but yeah, that's
You still have to
burning a
roll
fate-
2, Tim. You ask for 2 tests.
yeah. He also rolled twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
that
one
was
of them
because
was a
he
roll.
re-rolled.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tim
Jesus,
constantly
wow.
fails everything.
Tim is not. It's not his day. It's not his day.
No.
Okay.
Why can't I find it? Am I even...
Because it doesn't. It doesn't.
Is it
want
the
to.
pure faith thing? Then
No,
it's on page
no,
101 in Blood of Martyrs.
Okay, I'll look that up as well, but it's actually the, I was about to say the fear and loathing tables, but the fear and damnation, I think they're called. Why can't I find them?
That does sound like something I should spend a fate point on, though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't find it. Oh, there we go.
I can make mine
found
worse too.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Clearly.
Yeah. Okay.
You can still spend a fate. Akalon.
I could spend one of my 2 solitary fate points in all the world.
Well, if you don't use them, then what are you gonna have them
You
for?
don't burn them.
I don't burn them. I know. I still
I spent 1 to make my last roll worse.
I still
Me too.
hoard them. Okay, I'll spend a fate point and reroll that second willpower.
Also, wait a second. You can actually spend a fate point. Oh, before anybody does that, I want to just check something because you can spend fate points on more than simply re-rolling.
Well, I spend mine on re-rolling because that's what I've been told.
Because you said you might be able to spend it to potentially to ignore.
Yes, well, I can because I have that talent
Yes, of course.
called Pure Faith. But you can also, using fate points, re-rolled 1 failed test, count as having rolled a 10 for initiative, gain an extra degree of success on a test, instantly recover 1d5 wounds, or recover from being stunned. That's what you can use them on.
Okay.
And that's using them, not burning them.
Yes,
Okay.
there's a difference.
Yes.
Okay. So, let's just see what you guys rolled. You rolled a... So, Tim, you failed on both of them.
Should I still roll?
Both of
I
them
still need
quite
to know if
massively.
I should roll or if I can use fate for any of this.
You can use fate for both of them because one is fear and the other is corruption.
Yay!
Oh, and I massively failed my corruption.
In that case,
I'm definitely gonna reroll.
well, I should sort of save these, obviously. So I'll do 1 roll, and then I'll roll for fear, but use a fate point to avoid the corruption.
Sure. Okay.
26, so I'm a whole degree under.
Good. So no fear and
No fear and no corruption.
Medea, meanwhile, fear. You succeed the
No.
fear
Oh,
test.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, you guys have
but
no
you
luck.
fail the corruption test. Okay.
It's
And-
beautiful, isn't it?
It is. And Akalon, you succeeded on your fear test, but you failed on your corruption.
God, I
But
swapped
I
the
want
results.
3 less because he tried to re-roll.
Yes, mine is marginally better. But
Yeah.
I
still.
made mine worse.
Yeah.
As did I.
You don't normally get a boatload of corruption at the same time, and again, it is actually possible to get rid of it. It
It's
takes
still not
work.
funny to get.
I will be taking many holy baths when we get back to the back to base.
Yes.
Scrubby.
Hmm.
Okay. We're going to resolve these rolls before I describe why you actually roll them. Because
Yes.
Okay.
if you failed a fear test, you need to roll me a In a combat situation, this is not a combat. If in a non-combat situation, blah blah blah. Okay, so you don't need to roll anything. You just take a -10 penalty to any skill or test that requires concentration. Because at this point we're not in combat, so that's what happens.
Yes.
So -10 penalty to any skill or test that requires concentration.
Good.
Did you fail by 30 or more? Or, in other words, 3 degrees or more?
Not
Your
on the fear one.
Okay. Did any of you fail by 3 degrees or more on your
Fear?
Doesn't
fear
look
roll?
like it, no.
Okay, good. Because if you did, in a non-combat situation, which this is, you would also gain 1d5 insanity points. Okay.
Which is not a bad thing, as I've said
No.
before. If you can get to between, I believe it's between 20 and 29 insanity points, you're in the sweet spot.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Corruption. Did any of you fail your corruption? I think.
Everyone but
But
our
20.
lovely fleshy lady.
Yes.
Okay.
Good grief, you savage heathens.
Shut up, Frenchie.
Mon Dieu.
Okay. So I'm just going to take my d10
We
and
love you too.
give you, the 3 of you, 4 corruption points.
Does degree of failure matter in this?
I don't think so.
Because I failed by 6 degrees.
Wow.
You should be happy that it's not the case.
I'm fair to yeah, degrees doesn't really matter in this case. Okay, so you all gain 4 corruption points.
Okay.
Alright, is that a lot or is it a little?
No, it's not really it goes from 1 to 100. If you ever reach 100 corruption points, you are damned, and I take your character away from you.
Yes. However, it is entirely possible along the way to lose corruption points. It takes a lot of work.
Yep.
It's not easy. It's certainly not pleasant,
Nope.
but it is possible.
Yes.
Okay.
And basically, corruption is basically the exposure to the warp. What you actually see when you enter the central chamber is the central chamber itself is.
Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you're getting rolled up, but
Time.
Medea has gone, and it is break time.
It is break time, so let's take our first break, and we will be right back.